Hello and welcome. My name is John Valentine, and in this video I'll be talking about optimizing your digital content for voice search and voice search SEO. So in the growing world of audio, this will be more and more important, and so I'll be talking about all these different topics and teaching you how to optimize your content. So first, as you can see on screen, these will be the topics. I'm going to be talking about some of the facts of voice search SEO. I'm going to be talking about long keywords, creating people-based content, creating an FAQ, optimizing your business for local SEO, and at the end I'm going to give a nice conclusion with a summary of the whole video and some of the things I've been talking about and some final tips and tricks. So definitely make sure to stick around until the end of the video to find out what those are. But if you're ready, feel free to sit back and watch the videos here, and let's move right into the first topic. So first of all, I'm just going to mention some facts and talk about the growing business of voice search and just voice in general. As we all know, it's a growing industry and it will definitely dominate the social media landscape in a few years, and it will be bigger and bigger every year to come as the items of Alexa, Google Homes, Apple Series, Home Series, and so on, as they all progress, they will become a bigger and bigger part of our lives. So first of all, let's look at some of these statistics. So 72% of people with smart speakers use it daily. That meaning everybody who owns a speaker, 72% of those people have it on a daily basis, and it is part of the daily day, such as waking up, saying, "Hey Google Home, start this, play my music," and so on. And so this is the majority of people who own those, and the overall people owning smart speakers will only increase with the coming years, meaning voice search will become more and more important. Second of all, let's see here, 55% of US households will have smart speakers by 2022. This is only next year, meaning that by next year, over half of the US population will have smart speakers. So this is an incredible amount, because this just indicates that this is going to be a major part of people's daily life for the majority of US households. And so, as I said, this is just going to be a very growing and just an incredible industry to be part of. So finally, by 2022, shopping with a voice search will be a $40 billion industry, meaning people go on their Alexa, say, "Hey, order me new toothpaste, hey, order me new deodorant," whatever it is, and using Amazon and all these different voice search and smart speakers in order to shop. So shopping, of course, will be a key component of this industry, because if you think about it, when someone says, "Order me new toothpaste," which smart speaker is going to decide what toothpaste to order? Well, that will be part of voice search SEO, because sometimes people, of course, have their specific brands, but sometimes maybe there's products that they are not familiar with yet, and then just like if you go on Google, they search for the best headphones. Well, they will just either buy the ones that they recommend, or they will recommend certain ones, and your voice search SEO is going to be a major part of that. So definitely something to keep in mind when going through this industry. So next, let's talk about long keywords. Well, long keywords are going to be a very key part of voice search SEO, because you want to think of the consumer. Stay focused on long keywords that resemble the natural language. Just think about it, logically. For example, like some normal keywords would be Elon Musk, and then if you Google it, you would type in Elon Musk age, Elon Musk net worth, Elon Musk education, and so on. That's what you would type in on Google naturally to find this information. Naturally, language, speaking, even if it's to a smart speaker, what the more natural language would be: how old is Elon Musk, how rich is Elon Musk, and so on. So asking questions in a more natural language tone rather than just simple phrases and keywords as you would talking to a computer. Even though you are talking to a computer, that voice search SEO, it becomes much more natural to use natural language. So thinking about that can be a key and huge part in creating better SEO with these long keywords and conversational keywords. So creating this natural language sort of replication of what people might ask, and that way you can adjust it to whatever business that you're doing, because it has a better chance of ranking higher, and so that way you can use that in order to push products, your website, whatever. And also, just a bonus note, longer keywords are generally cheaper when it comes to ranking in terms of paid advertising in that sense. So longer keywords can be definitely very, very beneficial when it comes to improving your SEO and thinking about voice search overall comes to ranking your website. Now, of course, SEO is a very complex topic in itself, and voice search mixed in is just another sort of cherry on top, sort of to speak. But this is definitely a good start when it comes to increasing and bettering your voice search SEO is long keywords. So definitely something to keep in mind and something to look at, and I suggest to look into and see how you can expand upon some of the things that you've already created in order to adapt them to voice search SEO. Next, I'm going to talk about content creation. So what helps with voice search SEO, similar to having natural language, as I said in the last video, is creating people-based content. So first of all, people-based meaning that it targets human personality rather than behavior. So that way it helps with your personalized marketing. Because when it comes to voice, as I said before, everything is a little bit more natural compared to other aspects of searching, for example, Google searching or stuff like that. Using voice is a little bit more natural, and it comes to people like that. Even though some people might think of it and they might ask questions in a more direct sense, voice search in that aspect, when it becomes part of daily life, will become more like that. So creating people-based content is definitely going to be a big part of it. And second of all, AI learning will also be part of it. AI will adapt to how we speak and how we use our voices, and it will adapt and help in browsing our interests, meaning how, not just by the voice tone, but the words that we choose. So it's not going to adapt to what kind of voice we're using. Probably will in the future, but by that I mean more that the AI will adapt to how we speak. As you can see in Siri, if you didn't know, every word that you give Siri on Apple, for example, it takes information and learns, and therefore adapts to how you treat it. When someone says, I'm sure you can try this out with your phone right now. If you go on Siri and say, and it's 1 a.m. and you say, can you set a reminder tomorrow? It's going to ask you, do you mean today in the morning, or do you mean tomorrow? And so a few years ago they didn't have that feature, and that helps because first of all the AI adapts to it on a sense, and of course they add it by themselves, but that kind of AI adaptation will also work when it comes to voice search SEO. So what does this mean? Well, you want to have context and relevance matter when optimizing for voice search. Understand your customer deeper and create personalized content. That way you can sort of adapt your content to the voice search SEO and the voice search that people use when it comes to your blog posts, your copywriting, your FAQ, and so on, that I'll be talking about next. And there is definitely something to contextualize this natural language. Again, piggybacking off the last idea, when it comes to voice search, you definitely want to just attack that natural aspect of people's searching function, because it is going to be different than just a plain Google search. So the next topic will be creating an FAQ on your website, also known as a frequently asked questions. Now, of course, you probably should have this already, or already do have it, but when it comes to voice search, you definitely want to keep this in mind as well. You don't want to identify questions and concerns in a natural way. Again, identify your customer questions, what they would ask with their voice, and then answer them on your site. Because voice search implies a need for immediate answers. Think about it. Whenever do you use your voice search? You use voice search whenever you need something fast and now. It is because you want that information now. You ask something like, how much is $10 Canadian and $10 US? How much is 10 euros in 10 US dollars? What how many degrees Celsius is this in Fahrenheit? You want information now. And when it comes to your website and voice search, you definitely want to create an FAQ and frequently asked questions in this natural language. Again, you can be precise, and you have to be precise. For example, find pet stores near me would be an example of people using voice searches because they're looking for something close to them, and they want that now, they want information, they need something, and so on. So be prepared for specific and direct inquiries, so you need to research and find the target audience questions. Again, if you have a pet store, what might some of the questions be that people ask when they come to pet stores, or when they want to find your pet stores? Find the best golden retriever food close to me, and stuff like that. Whatever it is, these are just crude examples. Of course, you have to do your own research and think about your own brand, what you want to sort of show with your product in your business. So again, this comes back to the idea of natural language, but identifying questions and concerns that consumers might have about your product and your business is key in finding those, and letting people find that through voice search. So Google will notice this, and of course rank you higher when it comes to your SEO and your search engine optimization, because again, the main point of SEO is of course to always land on the first page of Google. And when it comes to voice search SEO, when you identify these questions and concerns with a natural language and identify your customers' questions in the way that they would ask with their voice and then answer them on your site, is definitely a key part in creating a better voice search SEO for your business and your website. Now, the next topic would be optimizing your website and business for local SEO. Now, keep in mind that one of the biggest uses of voice search is actually for people finding stuff close to them. Of course, there's a lot of functions such as, as I said previously, converting currencies or degrees, or finding stuff, or just Googling, or just, being lazy and Googling with a voice instead of just typing. But a lot of the uses will also be local businesses, such as, find a bar near me. And so a very important use is people searching for local businesses. For brick and mortar stores, this is almost a must, because if you're, let's say an Italian restaurant, and people search, what is the best pasta close to me? What is the best Italian food near me? What is the best Italian restaurant near me? Then if you have an optimized SEO for your site with a voice search and just in general, that will show up. And so your business can have this huge opportunity in order to utilize the voice search SEO for local SEO with these kind of inquiries in order to let be ranked higher with your Italian restaurant, because a lot of this is local. And so if you have local businesses such as a restaurant, for example, this is huge, and voice search will always only become bigger. People whip out their phone and say, hey Siri, what's the closest Italian restaurant near me? What's the best pasta near me? And if you have some kind of SEO optimized, some kind of voice search optimization going for you, then this will be a huge role. And a pro tip, if you don't have a brick and mortar store or a retail store or something like that, you can use your online business, you can use your HQ location or your office location, or even if it's just a one-man operation, if it's yourself, you can use your city that you're in, for example, and you can start optimizing it for SEO. If you're just an online business, but you have an office with, let's say, 3 employees, well, you're probably going to have your address listed on the website anyway for your office. Well, then you can use that in order to optimize that even better, such as voice, optimizing your whatever. Let's say you have a graphic design business, best graphic design in New York City, and so on and so on. This is of course just a crude example, but you have to come up with your own creative keywords. But whatever businesses that you have, but having this local SEO for your business is going to be a huge factor, like I said, because finding stuff close to people is one of its biggest uses, and will only become bigger the more people use these kind of devices, especially when it comes to phones and so on. So definitely something to keep in mind when you want to improve your SEO for your business, especially if it's local and a physical location. So just to conclude, I have some other final tips, and just to summarize, first of all, you want to have that natural language, you want to have an FAQ on your website, you want to have all of that optimized for voice search. And just some final tips and tricks here, you also want to create a Google business profile, especially if you have a brick and mortar physical location retail store. If you don't already have a Google business profile, then you're missing out. If you have a restaurant and so on, people do want to find that. You want to fill it with all your information. If you have a restaurant, create that Google business profile, put in your menu, your website, your phone number, and so on. Just your opening hours, whatever it is, stuff for you to do, not just based in voice search, even just in general. This is a good tip for you to create a Google business profile, but it only helps with voice search. So have your online presence. Voice is easy. A lot of people use voice because it's just easy, faster, and they want that information now. So think about that when you start optimizing your websites and your business for voice search. And it is a growing trend, so you definitely want to get in early so you're ready. You don't want to wait in 2 years and all of a sudden maybe a new device comes up that a lot of people take, and then it's all by voice search, and then whoever is optimized for voice search is winning that industry. So you definitely want to start now, get familiar with it, get sort of just into that kind of habit of creating your website and optimizing your website for voice search, just because it is definitely going to be a huge player in the coming years. So always something good to keep in mind. But yeah, that's basically going to be it. I hope you enjoyed this video and it helped you a lot. Feel free to skip back to any parts of the video if you want to rewatch anything. If you want to, of course, follow the channel, make sure to do that. Follow my YouTube channel as well. I will be uploading one video a week throughout all of 2021, so make sure to check out my channel for all things digital marketing and business, such as Instagram ads, Snapchat, TikTok, growing your business, networking, and all types of things, writing cold proposals, cold emails, and so on. So definitely something to check out if you're interested in all those aspects. But other than that, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video and hope to see you in the next class. Goodbye.